Hello, happy Sunday. It's Sunday demo time, and I'm Erica of Araba Arts. I'll let people gather. I'll have some hydration over here. So we'll have to see how the noise level goes. It is, I'm going to clean up. This one I have to hang on to. I have to hope that Facebook does not detect the music in the background. I don't think you can hear it. I can hear it mostly through the skylight. It's my town's Heritage Days this weekend. Hello, Margot. And Friday and yesterday, almost everything went on at the fairgrounds, which is, I could hear the fireworks last night. I could hear a little bit of the music, like the late night music on the stage. And in 2 weeks, when the Combine Demolition Derby happens, I'll hear that too. But Sunday they take over the park directly across the river from me, and so there's a band shell there, and so there's live music going on right now. I can't remember which one this is supposed to be. I know there's a band a friend of mine plays in at 7, which I won't get to hear because I will be doing Sweater Support Group. I think there was like praise music earlier this morning because it's Sunday. I don't know what's on now. If it's country, if it's I can't tell really what it is. But so hopefully I will not get in trouble for having the music. Okay. Hello, Anita. So today I am making a bat for Michelle. Michelle won one of the Turtle Fleece giveaways in WAFA. And so her instructions to me were fine or medium wool, didn't really care. She likes earthy tones. She does not like brights or nylons, and little to no sparkle. Okay. But otherwise I could do whatever I wanted. Okay. So there will be no sparkle. And I'm going with greens, but like earthy greens, okay? So I have this, it's one of these over-dyed BFLs. So it's lots of different sort of greens, a little bits of brown in it. So it's the dark blue, this is Blueface Leicester BFL. And then I have a little bit left of this, which was similar in color, perhaps a little less blue. You see how this is a little more blue, this is a little more green. This is Superfine Merino. Micron count is 19. And then I have this merino bamboo braid. Sun's sort of in a weird place there. That sort of got some of this bright green, of course the streaks of bamboo, and little bits of blue that come out in bluish green colors. So we're going to use that as a little bit of accent. So I've torn off like little bits of that. And then I've got some bleached Tussa silk. And then I thought I'd use some bamboo. This is one of those Blackwater Treasures ones that I picked up last weekend when I was in Missouri. Okay. So that is the plan. Okay. So let me get this out of here. So both the merino and the plain merino and the BFL came from Suzanne at Zany Crafts. She's got such a fun sort of font script. Isn't that kind of cool? Backwards, but still cool. So we'll put that over there. And I can kind of, you can feel there's a slight difference, that 19 micron versus, the BFL is probably low 20s. I can definitely feel a little different. Hello, Jean. So so this will be sort of like a symphony in green. So, maybe I'll call it that. Who knows? Okay, let's see if I'm going to undo it the right way. I think that's the wrong way. Let's pull it from this end and see what happens. Yes, okay. This is the end I want. Look at that. So much easier. Okay, so I'm also trying to be a little careful. I overdid it, I think, mainly with the weaving. This is loose enough that pulling isn't going to be a problem. So this is the wrist that I broke about 8 years ago. I still have pins and plate of some kind in there. And I I broke a corner off. See if I can remember which one. Off this side is, I don't remember which one's the old name, which is the radial. And then this one I like crunched into tiny little bitty pieces. And so, you know, I get a little arthritis in it, but also if I overdo it, I will get some pain when either, you know, putting it in funny directions or lifting things like a mug of tea. And so, turns out when I'm weaving on the bigger looms, you know, I'm doing a lot of reaching and grabbing for the rag. I'm using a rag shuttle, which are kind of, once you load up with all the yarn, it's kind of heavy, and so I'm sort of like pulling it out this side, and I'm doing a lot of supporting, probably at a weird angle. And so my wrist has told me that I was not allowed to go weave today, that I should take a day or two off before I go weave again. So that's the plan. And yeah, aren't they nice colors? Yes, I like them. So this will have a little bit of blue. There'll be more green on this other one. I've just got this little bit left, but let's see, there's the end. So we'll just put a little bit here. Yeah, I meant to send Michelle a message to say, hey, Michelle, I'm making your bat today. Okay, so that's nice. And then let's pull out the merino bamboo. My arm does not want to pull that. That's harder to pull apart. That bamboo part really sort of grabs. Okay, so we'll put that in there. That picks up some of that blue that's in that BFL. Look at that, a little bit of bamboo. Okay. So then we can add some tassel. I mean, I'm really enjoying doing the weaving. I mean, I like it. I had to trade out. I know Sebastian's noisy still. Somebody had put a nice cushion stool. But the problem was the cushion's really kind of old. And so when you sit, because you're actually not sitting fully on it, you're more sort of like leaning your back end on it. So you can actually then reach forward with the things on the loom. And it's actually kind of hard. And so I had to like find a different stool to use. So that was the other thing I had to do. And the better stool worked because I will say my back end is not sore the way it was the first day I wove. Okay. So this is the green, and that goes really well there. It's going to give us some nice depths. Yeah, and Michelle said she wanted smooth, not textured. So like there's going to be no silk noil in this or anything. Hello, Donna. I was very excited earlier, so I don't know if you can tell. There's a little like over here. There's a little less congestion. I moved some things around. I still need to do some more organizing and picking up in here. But as I've been getting, you know, the new things either from the festivals or, you know, things I've ordered from Wafa vendors. Kayla, for example. See, this is so much easier to pull apart. Kayla Four Hearts Farm had a live sale on Friday, which I missed the beginning of, but I still got some good treasures from her. And so I've got, you know, got to have stuff to make for the fall shows. But in moving stuff around today, I actually found something I was looking for. So when I bought the used Carter, hang on. I'm going to pick it up with the other hand and not the big one. Here she is. Real quick. Here she is. She's about Sebastian's size. Oh, I forgot to tilt the camera so you can see Sebastian. Anyways, I pulled her out of the car. I loaded her in. And I discovered actually one of my baskets. There we go. You can see better, Hopefully that won't fall. Anyway, so when I put her in the car, she's a her, I've decided. I actually have this, you get them from Target, these black woven, they come in lots of different colors, but it fit directly over the drum so I could protect things from getting stuck in the drum and all of that. But when they gave her to me, the handle was not attached. Okay, and so he gave me the handle. It was Yvonne's husband, whose name I unfortunately cannot remember. And I put the handle somewhere safe. You know what that means, of course, right? I put the handle somewhere safe, and, got home, took her out of the car, and can't figure out where I put the handle. I'm like going through, my command center bag. I'm going through my purse, thinking that would be a logical place to stick it, because it's just like, the handle with the screw on the end that it sticks out so they don't, package it with it. And I'm like, I am liking this. This is nice. I'm just like, where is it? Where is it? I can't find it. And so today I finally get around to doing household stuff, and which includes things like laundry. So I empty out the suitcase, and as I'm emptying out the main body of the suitcase, I got a small pocket and two pockets on the front of it, and would never hold dirty laundry. But as I'm looking at the suitcase, I'm thinking, when I put the Carter in the car, I put it on the back seat, and directly in front of it was the suitcase. There are pockets on the front of the suitcase. I wonder if I put the handle in there. And then I opened up one of the zippered pockets, and lo and behold, not only was the handle there, but also the burnishing brush as well. I now have an excess amount of burnishing brushes. So, yeah. I now have a handle for it. I'm very excited. And I'll probably start, now that I have a handle, I can use her. And I'll probably use her sometime this coming week. She's going to go to Colorado with me. So Kim, if you're watching, or if any of the other 3 people who are in my class for carding art bats, I cannot remember who else is in that class. Catherine, I think, is in that class. Catherine, Kim, and then I'm not sure if I know who the other 2 people are. But she will be coming, Sebastian will be coming, Squirt will be coming, and then we're going to borrow Carters from Teddy. So, it should be, everyone's going to get their own Carter. It's going to be so much fun. Just a little touch of this merino bamboo, I think, works. I am getting low on this Tussa silk. It may be time to do a Paradise Fibers order. So how is everybody's Tour de Fleece going? I'm trying to see what that says. I have not been making much progress, but I'm okay with that. I'm not going to kick myself about it. I'll do some tonight. Well, we'll see how the wrist feels, because this is the hand I can do a lot of long draw. This is the hand I do the pinching with, and sometimes that pinching movement can cause aggravation in there. So we'll have to see how it goes tonight. But I did finish those. I plied up. I named it Frolic. The 2 little art bats that I got from Hens and Chicks. And I finally skeined up that pink and green one that I think Molly had named it like something like Melancholy, which I'm not quite sure why. And so I've named it Preppy because it's pink and green. And I went through that in the 80s, so yeah. So, this is good, sort of natural colors and greens. Okay, we're getting a little thick in the middle, but I think we're okay. Yeah, so next Sunday, 7 p.m. Central. So do the math for your own time zone. Will be the bat sale for July. We're just going to do bats in that one. And then when I get back from Colorado, I'll probably schedule them this week, but I'm gonna do. Let's see, I want to do a little more blue. It's very green. I'm gonna pick up this blue green as well. I think I'll put it over here. Anyways, I'm gonna I think early August I'll do a clothing sale. And by sale I mean just live sale. I don't mean things. Well, I may have some things at discount. I do have a rack of discounted items. I'm going to pull that off there and put this one over here. I'm trying to avoid that middle where it's thicker already. So I'm going to do sometime in early August. I'll do a clothing sale. Maybe middle of the month I'll do sort of like some yarn and stitch markers and some jewelry, and then end of August I'll do another bat sale. I think that's how it's going to happen. So that way, if you're someone who's only interested in the bats, you don't have to sit through clothes and all this other stuff. Or if you're interested in the clothes but you're not one of the bat people, because I do have some followers who are only in it for the clothes, they can have their own special sale. Okay, I'm having trouble with reflection on the camera, so I'm gonna have to come back and I can read that. I can read Denise's comment. Thank you. So I'm thinking we're done. I can't tell if I don't think it's all that heavy, but it's feeling particularly right in here really full. So we're gonna have to stop. So what did I say I was going to call it? Something Greens? Symphony of Greens? Glorious Greens? I've already used Eat Your Greens, so we can't use that one. Glorious Greens? Let's call it Glorious Greens. I think that's nice. It's got lots of depth of color. It doesn't feel bright and neon-y. Feels natural. Okay, there we go. We've broken the bat. Let's press it back down into the doffer crease. I will say this week, once I get a chance to use the new kitten, I'm almost decided on her name. I'll try and come on, introduce her, and maybe use her to make a bat so you can sort of see her in action. Got a little bit of sticking here. Well, actually, it's feeling both the fibers from Zany Craft are very fluffy. There's a lot of fluff involved. So I can't tell. It's kind of so how much of that is air and how much of that is fiber, right? It's hard to tell. But this is your chance to start guessing how much you think this might weigh. Okay, if you get the closest, you get emoji trophies, and you get a nice big chunk of Tuss's silk right there. Okay? So that's what it looks like before fluffing. I'm now going to step off camera and fluff. I wouldn't even bother turning the camera because it is so bright in this corner. I'm going to move the new carder a little bit so I don't catch the bat on any carding cloth. And now I'm going to fluff. Particularly that middle bit. I've got a lot in there. So, yeah, I think we're going to go with Glorious Greens for a name so you can start guessing the weight. I have no guidance for you in your guesses today. Sometimes I can advise you, but I didn't weigh anything before I started. We're totally free-forming it today. Okay, it sounds like they've got country on the stage right now. It's hard to tell, but... Okay, here we go. Can you see that? Oh, I can barely see with the reflection. But I like that. Okay, so a little bit of bamboo in there. Can't have that there. So you can see, the Tussa Silk's blowing a little bit in the wind from the ceiling fan. Okay, oops. 0.0 out. 0 out. Okay, drum roll please. The weight, get a piece of paper. Ooh, and then the harder part. Let me see if I can find a pen. Here we go. Okay, last chance to guess. Not seeing any guesses. Oh, there's one up there. Okay. So it is 2.68 ounces. 2.68 ounces. Okay, and so we're calling this Glorious Greens. And this is a giveaway for WAFA TDF. Okay, so I got that all written down. Okay, did anybody get close? I'm going to have to go back through and read. Okay. Isn't it pretty? I like it. I think it's nice for someone who wants a sort of not overly arty textured bat. I think it works out really well. Okay. So, for those of you who are in WAFA, there is a sweater support group, which you don't have to work on a sweater. You can spin, you can do whatever tonight. That's 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, if you want to join us. I'll be hosting the Zoom Hangout on Wednesday for TDF as well. And, of course, there's always our Wednesday spin-along. Starting the week after that, after the 23rd, Lizette is going to be covering a lot of the things that I normally do with Zoom because I will be in Colorado for the Front Range Fiber Arts Bash, and I'm so excited. I get to, my first official, not just sort of randomly teaching at my guild, but first official chance to teach. So, and I'm actually doing 3.5 classes. So I'm very excited about that. Gotta create some paperwork and some handouts. Okay, that's, I can read a little better now. Okay. So I'll take pictures of this later when the sun is in my favor. Right now the sun is on the wall that I normally. Okay, well, I froze. If I unfreeze, who knows?